Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Soto went with the beanie. It's so cold outside.
Dude, it's fucking freezing, man.
A little more of a cholo look, you know.
My ears get cold, man. I'm not gonna front.
You're playing the Chargers. A little bit of a turf war, right? We live in Long Beach. They're in LA, you know. It's like throwing out a neutral gang color. Like, I'm on your ass.
LA Charger fans are pussies, man.
They are. They really are. It's very easy to they stick out. You know what I'm saying? They got a white tank top on, pink shorts, and then like that baby blue Raider hat, little lightning bolt on. Very easy to find them. Or Chargers.
What the hell?
You know what?
Baby blue Raider hat.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know the whole thing.
You know the story.
We're ready to rock. Don't go anywhere. So Derek Carr versus Rich Gannon is this weird random rivalry that I didn't ever want, but apparently it's kind of been happening.
I kind of like it.
It's a little bit like mom and dad are fighting at the dinner table, you know? Like, you're gonna pick sides. You kind of don't want it. It's entertaining. You want them both to love each other, but it does add a little pizzazz to the day, right? It is something to talk about for sure. So obviously, you know, Rich Gannon, he's the other great quarterback that I know of my lifetime, right? So I was born in 83, you know, the great like Stabler in earlier years. Like, I wasn't around then. Like, he was until Carr came around, he was the quarterback that I knew. He was my guy.
What about Todd Marijuanovich?
Like I said, my guy.
He took us to the playoffs.
He took us to the playoffs. Good for him. Rich Gannon did us a whole lot more, right? NFL MVP. He was the quarterback of that great Tim Brown, Jerry Rice team. Great
Ricky Dudley.
Oh yeah, like those were. Oh my god, that was such a bitchin' ass team. Great. Last time we had a really great defense too. That defense was shit. Couple Woodsons back there. Bill Romanowski. It was great. So Rich Gannon tweeted last week, and it looked like a kind of semi-passive aggressive dig. And it was basically wins are all that matter. And because he's an old guy with like weird punctuation, wrong places, he did that first. And then after that, he tweeted when it comes to a quarterback. So everyone kind of guessed and gathered that there's all like, obviously Derek Carr is like the most controversial player in the NFL, right? Everyone's debating his stats, his win-loss record, interceptions, yards. He's always kind of being talked about. And I feel like Rich Gannon wanted to just kind of end it and just say, look, wins and losses are all that matters, which is a great thing for him to say because he was 45-29 in his 6 years and with the Raiders. And then Carr has been 56-70 in his almost 8 years with the Raiders, right? So, you know, if that's the scoreboard you're looking at, clearly Rich Gannon. You don't think Derek Carr missed that, did you? You know Derek Carr wasn't going to let that slide.
Derek Carr blocks too many people on Twitter to not catch this.
He is very aware of what's being said about him and to him. And if he doesn't find it, his brothers will, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he very, very obviously knew that this was going on. And so this was literally immediately after the game on Sunday on the field for the post-game interview. This is what he said.
You told us if you don't win this game, nothing else matters. Yep. And now everything matters going into the final week of this regular season. What does that mean to your team that has fought through so much adversity this season to have a chance at the postseason next week?
Good question.
It's funny how we're winning games. You know, it's just a story of our season. You know, we're turning the ball over. You know, sometimes we don't get a first down, all these different kind of things and all this adversity, yet we find a way to win. And from what I hear, that's all that matters.
From what I hear, that's all that matters. I love how what's a more alpha male than an NFL quarterback, right? You're rich, you get the girl, you're in charge of these other alpha men, you get the spotlight, you get paid the most, you get the glory, and yet they'll still just passively dig at each other like middle school girls. It's so great. Little passive aggressive digs at each other. Again, the last two great quarterback, like not since Ken Stabler, right? It's been these two guys, really. And
Jim Plunkett was pretty damn good.
Plunkett was great. But you know, little back and forth, little dig. Did you pick it up did you watch that? I don't think
I did watch it. No, I did watch it. I remember it now, yeah. So because this is what I said earlier in the year. I want him to have a little bit more of an edge. I would like it. It's like when you play with that edge instead of like, I'm going to do what's right. I need to get this done. There's no other way. I want that little edginess. And then you took it the whole opposite way and be like, no, I don't want Aaron Rodgers ruining the team. Like, well, you can have an edge without ruining the team. And when you're a Derek Carr, that's always like on the opposite end of pendulum swing end of having an edge to you. Being a little bit more towards the middle of that kind of spectrum, I like it.
Well, there's a hierarchy of it, right? Like there's Tom Brady, who like scans the universe to find a reason to feel like somebody's sliding him, right? Like you leave a piece of gum underneath a park bench that he sits on 7 years later, he's going to find you and say, you're trying to keep me from winning a Super Bowl, aren't you? Like he just needs that underdog fuel when he's like the least underdog in NFL history, right? He needs that underdog fuel. Derek Carr isn't that, but he does hear everything around him. I don't feel like he searches it. I feel like he genuinely doesn't want it. That's why he blocks everybody who says anything negative about him. He doesn't want that around him. He doesn't want that negativity, but he confronts it when it appears. It's not water off a duck's back with Derek Carr. Like he acknowledges it when it's in his face,
or David for that matter.
Yeah, right. Especially when it's Rich freaking Gannon, right? Like NFL MVP, like the last guy that was a great Raider quarterback of your franchise. Like these guys should be tight. Like this should, what I mean? You're in a very rare fraternity, you two. And mom and dad are squabbling at the dinner table.
We've heard about Gannon not being maybe the most gregarious guy out there. He's a little bland. You like that? And I don't know what kind of relationship they have, but I think that Gannon does carry a little bit more weight when he says things, even if maybe you don't necessarily agree. Like from Derek Carr's comments, it doesn't seem like he necessarily agrees with that. And if I was Derek Carr, I wouldn't agree. I do agree with Rich Gannon. I don't think that a lot of these empty stats really mean much. It's about winning games, not about how many yards you can throw for. And if those yards lead to you winning more games, great. But if they don't, then what do they mean?
Well, if Derek Carr had Rich Gannon's defense, RJ,
I'm not
take everything into consideration.
I'm not going to get into it right now because I've gave you examples of Derek Carr's fourth quarter play and how that's lost us multiple games,
and it's won us.
I understand
games,
that, but
like the last three.
But we don't need a 500 quarterback. Okay, we need a guy that doesn't just show up half the time and shits the bed half the time. Okay, I'm not going to get into that right now. What I'm going to say is,
you can't say something like, all that matters is wins and losses and walk away as if like
Derek Carr what we're here to do is win games. We're not here to lead the league in stats. We're here to win football games. That's what we're here for. And if your stats don't lead to winning games,
so you'd rather have Trent Dilfer. You'd rather have Trent Dilfer because he's a winner. He won games. He won the Super Bowl.
If he had that defense in that situation, sure.
So you'd rather have Trent Dilfer than Derek Carr. Got it.
If you can switch the jerseys from that team to the Raider jerseys, yes. Because that's winning.
All that matters about a quarterback is winning, and Trent Dilfer wins. So you want Trent Dilfer here instead of Derek Carr because he's a winner.
I didn't say that.
No, you don't. Yeah, you did. You said all that matters is winning games, and Trent Dilfer
won game. He won one. Look. Okay, okay. Let's look at Trent Dilfer's. If you want to take it there, we can take it there. I want to.
You took it. You opened the door. You're the all that matters is wins and losses for a quarterback.
Dilfer. Record.
Where they're at doesn't matter. Who they're throwing to doesn't matter. The defense that's holding them up doesn't matter. Special teams doesn't matter. Franchise doesn't matter. Wins and losses. Only thing that matters.
All right, let's take a look. You want to take it there? I didn't want to take it there, but
I did not expect on this show that we'd be looking up Trent Dilfer's.
You said it, not me.
You said it. All that matters is wins and losses.
That's the goal of the game. That is the goal of the game, is to win. That's what I'm saying. And if you're looking more at, my quarterback has these stats, you're looking at the wrong thing. That's the problem with a lot of these franchises where they're going to keep a guy around. I'm not saying Derek Carr. I'm saying these franchises look at the wrong thing because this guy's going to sell tickets. This guy's a good face of the franchise. Is he winning football games? Is his play winning you games, or is his lack of play losing games? And I've given you examples of this year, both where Derek Carr has won games for us, and where Derek Carr did not the team, but Derek Carr, because the defense played good enough, Derek Carr has lost games for us because of his play in the fourth quarter. I'm saying that is something that needs to be looked at and scrutinized a little bit more than just his overall stats. Now, the last few games, he's not played well because he's turned the ball over multiple times the last 3 games. Interception fumbles in 2 of them and 2 interceptions in another one. That's not going to cut it moving forward. I mean, we were getting lucky and still winning games. Like he said, people talk about these turnovers and this and that, but we still find a way to win games. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because the defense is bailing you out. Now, we can't, as a quarterback, you can thank the defense for bailing you out, but there has to be some measure of responsibility on your end to not always put that on them to have the team score less than 20 points a game.
I'm glad you brought up the turnovers because that's clearly an issue for Carr. And he has the second most turnovers in quarterbacks this season. So I was like, all right, how bad is he doing? It's kind of crazy. I thought it'd be way worse. He only has 1 more turnover than Ryan Tannehill, a ball control, don't screw up quarterback. He's only got 2 more turnovers than Matthew Stafford and Patrick Mahomes. Like, Stafford was like the lead MVP for like 3/4 of the season. Patrick Mahomes is arguably the best young quarterback in all of football. And they all have basically the same number of turnovers. I was blown away by that. I thought for sure Derek Carr would be like in a league of his own. He's really not. He's like right in line. I mean, he could easily end the season with less than these guys or the same as these guys.
True, but unfortunately,
MVP guys.
Pick a stat. Pick a player.
Pick a quarterback?
Yeah, pick a quarterback on that list there. That's
Patrick Mahomes.
Near Derek Carr. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has 35 touchdown passes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Derek Carr has 21. Big difference. Mm-hmm. Almost 1 more a game. Okay, pick another
guy. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen has 34 touchdown passes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's got more yards than all those guys. Those also, that matters.
I mean, it matters, but touchdowns matter more. Points matter more than yards. Mm. Okay, so pick another
guy. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's got 40 touchdown passes. Someone else, someone who's around there.
He's got more yards.
So pick another guy. What would you say, Tannehill? Let's see where Tannehill is. Tannehill has 17 touchdowns.
That's my point. Like, Tannehill's the one that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're a ball control, don't screw up quarterback. Like, your job is to just not throw interceptions. and you're throwing interceptions and fumbles.
But what I'm saying is what exacerbates Carr's turnovers is his lack of touchdowns. Usually, you'll take the turnovers and interceptions if you're also getting a lot of touchdowns. Unfortunately, most of the people on this list have more than 10 touchdowns than Derek Carr. In one case, even double.
But Carr has more yards than almost all of them, too, which means he's getting to the red zone and the offense, including him. And we had this conversation a million times, right? Mm-hmm. Olsen, Carr, receivers not getting open, Jacobs sucking in the red zone. Like, it's a mixture of a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a mixture of things. But the thing is, I want to take that. I want to look at it from this perspective. He has the same. It's not like they put in a different team in the red zone. The same team that's getting him all those yards is the same team that he has in the red zone. Mm-hmm. So you can't say, well, he's getting all these yards. Like, who's he throwing it to? He's throwing it not to himself. He's throwing it to the same guys that he has in the red zone. So there is some issues that need to be cleaned up. The issue that I have with his turnovers is the touchdown to turnover ratio. It's almost a 1-to-1, and that's never good.
Yeah, the turnover's always been an issue. You know, I don't know if it was a Freudian slip that I picked Trent Dilfer, but he's from the Bay Area. Like Carr, and he played at Fresno State. I completely forgot about that. I was like, why did I pick Trent? Was it a Freudian slip?
Trent Dilfer was a fucking baller in college. He was a baller in college.
Even shitty quarterbacks in the NFL, like, they all, like, none of them sucked in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why they played, and like someone gave him a shot.
Kyle Bowler was slinging the ball around in college.
Yeah. Johnny Football was slinging the ball around in college.
Johnny Football, baby.
Anyway, back to Rich Gannon. So Derek Carr now publicly, the little snipe, right? Here's Rich Gannon on SiriusXM NFL Radio this week. Take a listen.
It all starts with Carr. And, you talk about a team that's so dependent on one player. Say what you want about Derek Carr, Bruce. They put a lot on his plate. And I talk a lot about the freedom and flexibility that this guy has at the line of scrimmage because he's earned it. He's been in that system a long time. He knows it like the back of his hand. And I just thought that, despite the interceptions, it was a gritty performance. And I think that's what you're going to get the rest of the way from Derek Carr.
Now he's all Mr. Nice Guy with Derek Carr. Did they bury the hatchet, or is it just like the win streak and he's like appreciating, okay, he willed the team to 9-7. Let me hand it to him.
Well, I think it's just kind of, Captain Obvious stuff right now. Honestly, it's like, yeah, he has been turning the ball over, but he also has been putting the team in position to win games at the end. And that's one thing that, except for the Browns game, he hasn't been playing poorly in the fourth quarter. That's my main gripe in some of our close losses is the poor play of Carr in the fourth quarter. You take away that interception against the Browns, he's played pretty good in the fourth quarter.
He's played insane in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So he's been very accurate. He's moving the ball down the field, putting us in a position to win. Also, like a veteran that he is, managing the clock wisely, not screwing up, not having those Gruden brain farts in time management, not leaving too much time on the clock. Be doing a good job in clock management, which is something that has been lacking.
And more importantly than Derek Carr playing well in the fourth quarter is the team is playing better in the fourth quarter. Because like for the longest time in the season, for the first like 10 or 11 games or so, it was like if Carr threw 300 yards, we won. If he didn't, we lost. Like it was like that simple. Like Carr had to literally put this team on his back to win. Like there was no other way this team was going to win. And that, like for us, for the Carr supporters, like that was exhibit A for an argument of why Carr is underrated and is good and blah, 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 blah. But it's bad for the rest of the team. Like even the best Carr lovers is like, I don't want Carr to be the only guy that can win the game for us. Like if Carr, everyone has an off day. If Carr throws 3 picks, I want the run game to make the difference every now and then. I want the defense to bail him out. I want special teams to be able to take over when someone's not doing well, right?
The defense pretty much bailed him out against the Browns.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Now, in the last 3 games, he's passed for under 300 yards every time, and someone else stepped up at different times, right? Run defense, phenomenal in Cleveland. It's like that was the
Josh
difference.
Jacobs running his ass off.
Josh Jacobs running his ass off in that game. The run defense showing up in Indianapolis was a big reason to get. So it's
Marcus Mariota, dude. Those are big first downs.
So there's Hunter Renfrow balling out. Like there's
Renfrow, Zay Jones.
Special teams was great in Indianapolis. Our return game was great in Indianapolis. Daniel Carlson can't miss right now. Like that's a good thing. Like that's what I've been wanting to happen is like, if Carr has a bad day, someone's there to pick up the rest of the team. Someone's there to pick up the pieces. 2 interceptions you threw in Indy. Indy got no points. Defense saved it. Like, right? Like that's awesome. Like that's what we want. It's like, okay, not everyone, the goal is everyone plays perfect all the time, but that's not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
When someone falters a little bit, the rest of the team is there. Carr didn't have that for the first 3 quarters of the season. Now the team is playing together. The team is coming together and picking up where people leave off and helping people when they fail, or when someone does a great play, it lets someone else off. They covered up for someone else's mistakes. That to me is way more important than saying like, oh, Derek Carr balls out every time. He's going to win us every game. I don't want that. I want the team to win these games. I want to be able to like recount on somebody else. And that's what's happening. We're talking about momentum this season. That's what we're getting. Carr can afford to slow down. Carr doesn't have to try to win every single game anymore. The defense is showing up. The running game's showing up. It's like, okay, I'll put the Superman cape on for this last drive in Indy when I need to. But the game was close up until then without him having to put the Superman cape on, which is what I do want. It's nice to know the cape's there, right? He can pull that cape out of the closet and play hero ball if he has to. And he's done it with 29 now, right? Fourth quarter overtime comebacks. But he doesn't have to every time.
What we need is for him to play his best in the fourth quarter, but we can't have that along with his worst earlier in the game. If he can play steady early in the game and then turn it on late, that is a recipe for good football and for winning football games. The problem is with a lot of these teams, they have more high-powered offenses and more dynamic and diverse offenses than the Colts had, and they're going to make us pay if we turn the ball over twice like that with 2 interceptions.
All right. Well, we're going to have our Sunday pregame, very first pregame in Autumn Windbags history. Live pregame heading up to the primetime game, last game of the season, Chargers versus Raiders. We will see all y'all there. Until then, knock on wood if you're with me. Hey, Windbags. If you want Darren Waller to catch 20 touchdown passes this season, don't be afraid to click those subscribe, like, share, and comment buttons. Plus, your comment could be featured in the next What Up Windbags.